Get your mats, get your weights, get your chair if you're doing chair exercises. Line up if you're walking wall to wall. Jump on your bike or start your treadmill. The great Ron Jackson, the international star on guitar, honey. Yes. I can't get in front of both cameras. Yeah. I'm walking, y'all. Great Ron isn't, y'all. Great Ron isn't. Thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share. Tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe, subscribe. Let's get this party started, right, y'all? I got my orange sausage pants on. Yes, indeed, I do. Okay, hold on. I thought I turned it down. But I still hear it. Really? Okay, here I come. Yes! I had to switch the gulping chat till today because on Monday, I'm going out and take care of business on Monday and not today. So, we got our water that I can hardly see on one camera. Okay, hold on. Pardon me, excuse me. This camera. This needs to give me a little bit of something. Y'all keep exercising. Alright, because YouTube, you can't see my water bottle. Y'all know I just changed the set. Okay, it is what it is. Alright. Thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share. Tell an uncle, tell an auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe. Yes. Thanks for coming on the walk. Oh, you know, I just noticed something. All right, y'all. It's that kind of day. I'm trying to get the camera right day. Okay. Now you can see my water. Yes, YouTube. Yes. All right, let's talk affirmative action. Now, I was 4 years old when JFK initiated, well, not so fast, and then it makes a lot of noise, initiated the, now I gotta lift the camera up. I'm sorry, y'all. When he initiated affirmative action, or put it in the law, or now, I was living at my mother at that time, and when I came to my understanding, and I would hear the adults talk about affirmative action, especially my mother, she was extremely excited about it. She thought that it was great, that it would help us be able to go to college and stuff. My poor mother. She didn't know she was living on a pill colony. She had no idea. If she did, I believe she'd have raised us a lot differently. And in my imaginings, I think she'd have probably found some way to get us off this penal colony. Okay, let's get back to affirmative action. So, she was all for it. It was a new thing for black people, because she had just started calling them black because she was always Negro. For black people, she just thought it was great. Now, we would have a chance to go get a college education. We would be able to get financial aid to support. If she knew she was on the penal colony, she was like, some kind of warden trickery. The wardens fighting amongst each other. Ha ha ha! Yes, that's how we got the vote. Johnson did it. All the wardens was fighting. And he said, I'm gonna show y'all something. You know, Hatfield and McCoy, the Republicans, they was fighting. He said, I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna bust this move. And that's how we got the voting like that. That's why it sunsets. And that's why at any moment, the Supreme Court wardens can strike that totally down. You're making too much of it. This is a penal colony. It was a strategic move, like in a chess game. I'm going to checkmate you. Give the Negroes a vote. Then Kennedy said, I'm going to checkmate you. I'm giving affirmative action. So see, that was that kind of move. And now, checkmate again. Ain't got it. They said, no, just for colleges. But if you remove a brick from the wall, don't that weaken the whole wall? I'm just asking. So, my mother was extremely happy. She thought that this is going to change everything. Housing, working, everything. Because it's a big package of affirmative action. They're just taking a brick out at a time. And that's how it was my introduction. When my mother was with the Lutheran cult. And the Lutheran cult was really big into civil rights and stuff like that. Excuse me, y'all. So, then I found myself with my Elijah Muhammad father. And his take on affirmative action was totally different. He said, and I want to tell you, every time over the years when that came to my mind, I always thought of him not in a positive light, because the cult that he's in doesn't think women should do anything. So his perspective of affirmative action was that it was only going to help white women. He didn't even say black women. He says it's only going to help white women. And it was only put in place to help white women. Well, like I told y'all, I said a lot of negative things about him. And over the years, every time I thought back on it, I was like, oh yeah, that Muslim hate women. That Muslim man hated women. He only had one woman he loved, and it was his mother. And if you wasn't his mother, you could catch a cross. What? That was his thing. So over the years, I said, I would think back on my mother, her excitement, affirmative action. I would think about my father, and this is all under the age of 20. I think back what he was saying, that it's all for women. And as I went through life in my 20s, I did notice. Now we have to remember women, going back to white women, I know the face that they also put on, because they also don't acknowledge that they're on this penal colony. They during the 60s and the women of today are two completely different women. The women was of the 60s, remember, turbulent time, protests, and that's how Ruth Bader Ginsburg got to the Supreme Court, all that stuff. Those women have, their matter and energy have separated. Their energy is around, but their matter is not. So, these women of the new millennial are Michelle Douglas and Mormon women. They worship men as the end-all and the be-all. And they look at us, African Americans, as demons, curses, dark cloud, dark this. Honey, I'll bet the black cats catch it. They don't get half of what we get. So, in this Duggar Mormon society, white women accept their role as second-place citizens, as just baby makers. Barefoot and pregnant in the 60s was an insult. Barefoot and pregnant in this new millennium is a badge of honor. So, of course, they had supported their husbands, their men, and taken away the educational part of affirmative action. Though it benefited them more than anyone. Don't you understand this Hatfield McCoy shit? They ain't got no logic. No logic. It benefits me, so I want to get rid of it. Yes, I saw it with that orange shit stain. I saw the woman standing there. I saw them. They were saying, barefoot pregnant, barefoot pregnant. That's what we are. That's all we are. I was like, wow. Wow. So I started thinking, I said, well, wait a minute. If my father is right, and he thinks like most men, because also that Muslim society is worship men. So I said, if my father is right, then if they go to attack affirmative action because they want the women to be barefoot and pregnant. Remember in the 60s, they didn't want barefoot and pregnant. But in the new millennium, they want bleach, peroxide hair, fake titties, and pregnant. And worshiping their men. So I thought, I was in my 40s, just little glimpses. I said, well, my father is right. That means when they go after women, they're going to attack the freedoms that they have. But if they got their freedoms through our marching and getting freedoms, when they attack the women and they take away from them, will they not also be taken away from us? Set up. But we got the internet. There's colleges. I hope our African American kids will reach out to other countries who tell the truth. This penal colony is the matrix. It's not the truth. And there's nothing truthful on it. It's controlled by wardens. Wardens. Like the brick and mortar ones. Their job is just to make sure the penal colony produces with the war that freed the enslaved, the colony still has to produce for the crowns. Okay? And the warden's job is to make sure production happens. Now, the affirmative action we should take has everything to do with, how can I put it? How can I put it? Combustibles. Combustibles. Has everything to do with that. It has everything to do with what prisons and the brick and mortar inmates in the brick and mortar prisons, it's what they do to get change. And that's the only way that'll happen on this penal colony. Because they want their women barefoot and pregnant. They want them women producing kids. They want them subservient on their knees, like the old days before the 60s. And if they got to step on minorities, they got to step on us. Well, they don't really care about us. To get them women back at home, please. Y'all, I'm not drinking my water after, but y'all take a break. I've probably been on a commercial. Whew. Me up until yeah. This is just gonna be a second. We ain't gonna stay too long. I said, come on. Yeah. Save your toes and feet. Just enough to get some water. We need to wipe this sweat off. I'm walking, y'all. Trying to see my feet and toes. Yeah. I'm walking now. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So, y'all. They want them out of those positions. They want the men back in there like it was before. See, they don't tell you, but on this penal colony, the husbands used to have to write notes for their wives to get a job. Because the whole way, same thing they do with us, but I don't know, white people, y'all are drowning. White women, y'all are drowning in ignorance. Look at what they doing to us. That's the same things happening to y'all on this penal colony. You used to have notes. And then they used to have a certain amount, the men that ran the corporations, they only wanted a certain amount of women. And the best way to keep the women out, just like African Americans, was to make sure they weren't educated. They wasn't qualified for the job. The men got the education, so they were the only ones qualified. But I remember seeing that orange shit stain, and I watched those bleach blonde peroxide, big-chested women bouncing all over. Worship the men! Worship them! Worship them! You should be at home, cooking and cleaning, and sleeping with him. Y'all trying to be executive. Now, I gotta tell you something. My father was right. I noticed it when I worked for Westchester County. The majority of the directors were females. Oh, no, not African American. No, not us. Because you see, that's one thing about white women. When they climb up the ladder, they throw it down. They kick the ladder out. They don't want nobody climbing up, especially us. And they said, well, another white woman said, why'd you kick the ladder down? I could climb up. She said, I wasn't kicking it down for you. I was kicking it down with no blocks to get up. See where she is now? She ain't got no affirmative action and we don't either. But we didn't go after her. We didn't go after her. We were proud of her advances. I know my mother was. She didn't care. Blacks, females, minorities, everybody was getting an advance as far as she was concerned. Habit. As far as she was concerned, everybody was doing a little goodish. But not the other way. Not the other way. In my whole career with jobs, I only had one woman that ever promoted me. And I think she still had olive skin, and she was from the Midwest. She was also a lesbian. But she promoted me. Don't care how much excellent attendance you have. It don't matter how well you complete your work. She kicked down that ladder after she was able to climb up. Now see where she is? But we still in the same place because they kicked down the ladder. Oh, it was like minorities too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Affirmative action is for black people. They said everybody. Ooh, I start to say, you know, no. I got it. No. You can't stop it. I tried to stop it. No. That's what they are. No. All of them. No. Yeah, because when they climbed up, guess what? They kicked the ladder down too. So when the Spanish people say, well, wait a minute. How you climb up there and I'm trying to climb up and you kick the ladder? They said, no, mi amor. I didn't kick the ladder down for you. I kicked it down for the negras. That's a color. That's not a curse. That's blacks. Or as Italians say, the eggplants. The ladder was kicked down after they climbed up. They used the excuse. So we couldn't climb up. And I would just watch. And I was like, watch. And I was like, we ain't doing that to y'all. We ain't doing that to y'all. We ain't carrying y'all. But y'all carrying us every chance you get. Karen, Elizabeth, Suzanne, Patricia. I keep naming them. Michelle. So now guess what? Ain't nobody got a ladder. Ain't nobody got a ladder. And how they keep you from going on when you have to go to work with other people? How they keep you from advancing? Education, you're not trained for it. You don't have the knowledge for it. You don't have that. So you see, but you kept kicking the ladder down behind you. You kept doing it. Because y'all was fixing us. You was fixing yourself. And now you're fixed. Because you see that ladder called affirmative action that they put up for us? Very few of us. The lines were so long with white women and minorities that very few of us got a chance to climb that ladder. And then, like I said, the ones that made up the ladder kicked the ladder down. So that's the hypocrisy. Every time, Martin Luther King, this one's civil rights. And I see these minorities and white women, I'm like, really? Really? You didn't respect that. You didn't like those advantages. Y'all Michelle Duggins, Mormons, women that used to have to get letters from their husbands to go to work. You weren't allowed to drive a car. You wasn't even allowed to vote until the men saw it was an advantage because you vote with your man because that's how you controlled. So now how do I feel about affirmative action? I really can't tell you. As far as colleges and stuff concerned, I think it was like rich black people who wanted to get their kids in to like those prestigious colleges, and they couldn't bribe their admission people. So I think they gained the most advantage. Like say, I don't know, a big aftermath, like Will Smith, but his kids wherever go. Say he wanted his kid to go to Harvard. Well, before affirmative action, Harvard was like, there's a penal colony and your black ass ain't never getting in here. But after affirmative action, they had to say, all right, we'll let you get in. So I think that was mostly for rich African Americans, affirmative action. Now, not to say it wasn't little bus here and there, drips, drops here. A little dust in the milk. But other than that, no. No. It was the minorities and the white women. And as they was climbing up, they was stepping on our heads, pushing us down, pushing us in the back of the damn line, pushing us down the street. Wasn't getting that. Guess what we had? The Black Greeks at the HBCU. We had the Black Greek colleges. Y'all call them HBCUs, I call them Black Greek colleges. That's where the Black Greeks come out of. You know the sci-fi, Phi Delta Beta, Beta, fraternity and sororities. That's where we go. But that's the only place we were able to go before affirmative action. Get back to that. Or go online and go with some of these foreign colleges that do online training courses. You need to do that anyway to get out this penal colony because they ain't telling you nothing but the Matrix, honey. That's all they selling. So, I'm not surprised nor upset. I remember seeing all the white women say, shoot them! Shoot them rioters! Now, I gotta give some props. Them women in Washington, them mothers in Washington, the state of Washington, much love, honey. When I talk about white women, y'all move yourself from the equation. I ain't talking about y'all. Y'all showed out and showed up. I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about the others. And you know who you are. Yeah, I saw them dancing around there. Oh, yes. We need to stay home and have 20,000 babies so that they can be incested, sex trafficked, and put in the army, and I still have a kid or two left for me. Yes. They were saying that I watched it with that orange slime bag. Women should be at home making sure that the husband's food is cooked and that they're taken care of. All this education has made women think they're independent, and they're not. And they said, we're going to show them. We're going to show them. We're going to take that affirmative action, that education. Now you can't afford it. How? Oh, no. I forgot y'all in cults. Look, I forgot a lot of y'all is in cults. Don't they got the Brigham Young, they call it BU, but I only knew BU to be Boston University. But the Brigham thing, then all the Lutherans got their colleges, the Presbyterians got their colleges, the Baptists got their colleges, the Jehovah's Witnesses have their colleges. So, when you look at it, you really don't need affirmative action. Now, if you're African American and it has helped you, and you can tell me, you can show me over 50,000 people that are African Americans that affirmative action helps. Show me. Okay, let's do this quick. Whew. Tuck the elbow. We're going in the front. Do it out the side with the bigger one. But now we just got to do this. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know I'm doing kind of wrongish. But at least I know. Yeah. Tuck in your elbows, neither up nor down. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1 for good luck. All right. Yeah. So, that's my take on affirmative action. The minorities and the women that climb, and a few African Americans too, that climb the affirmative action ladder, kicked it down afterwards. So now there's no ladder. So I'm wondering, I remember I used to work on jobs, honey, where there was a lot of white women, and they all said, I'll die before I promote you. Knowing that through affirmative action, they were able to stand in front of me. Child. Whew. So, that's my take on affirmative action. Like I said, I didn't see where it really did so much. I remember when they had bring your daughter to work days back in the late 90s. And at that time I was working for the Department of Transportation for Westchester County. And everyone would show up. You'd have your panel. And then you'd have your others. And every time we went to it, the directors, of course it was bring your daughter to work day, but men could bring their daughters to work too, and they did. But the majority of the the commissioners were women. I think there was like maybe one man, but maybe because he only had a daughter. But looking at the overall, it was majority women over men in Westchester County. And I'm sure that's a lot of places. So when the orange shit stain and the Hatfields and McCoys, them and Republicans pushed women staying at home and having babies, the first thing they did was, white women staying at home having babies, the first thing they did was limit abortions. And that was the first step. The second step is affirmative action. Now, I remember seeing some doctors, female doctors, that said they came from nowhere. So I know affirmative action got you to be a doctor. But guess what happened when they became a doctor? They kicked down the ladder. And they made sure it fell on our heads. Black people. I put a little lemon juice in it. Oh yeah, that's the ticket. Yeah, so yeah. So you only wait, you learn a lot. I was younger then. I'm 65 now. I just look at the videos and I was like, did I say 55? I don't want people to think I'm here lying. I know I'm old and I know I look my age. But or as they said outside, well, um, I've seen a lot. And I had a lot of time to think about stuff. And just like my mother warned, not my mother, my father warned. He said affirmative action was to advance white women, and when white men get tired of it, they'll just snatch it back. And again, I'm trying to tell you, I didn't have a good. We could talk politics, but that's all me and my father could talk. That's it. That's it. And I said to myself, you are a really hateful or Elijah Muhammad hate man, ain't you? Well, as I stand here now, he was right. He was right. When the white man got tired, he snatched it back. My father did not think. He did not say that affirmative action advanced us in any way. He didn't. It was my mother who thought, oh, no, yeah. She came from Virginia, sharecropping. Like her father was the last sharecropper of that generation. For us. After that, no more sharecropping. But she was just so happy. She was thinking, oh, the advancement. My mother, she was like, oh, everything, voting. Oh, it's so great. The advancement. Oh, it's great. Let's get dressed up. Let's go vote. Everything. That was her thing. But my father, I'm in 70, he was like, no. Affirmative action is not for us. It is not going to advance us. It's for white women. He just came out and said it. And I said, you old hateful man. You just hate women so much. It's that Muslim stuff. Well, anyway, y'all had some other, how me and him had conflict. He could throw hands, but when I looked at him and said, you ain't the only one can throw hands up in this house. Then my grandmother came and picked me up, took me down south. Anyway, you know what? All he had to do is keep his hands to himself. So I felt his predictions came from a place of hate of women. But now, and we vibing now because his energy is here, but now, I said to him this morning, I was like, okay, so you were right. You were right. You said they gave it, and it was for the white woman, and then when the white men get tired of it, they would take it back. And you were right, and they did it. He said when they wanted them home where they should be, they'll do something about it. And they did it. You will be barefoot and pregnant white women, and they did it. I just wish you'll just fall in line. Just stop going for... This is a Michelle Duggar, Mormon, cult ran society. I'm not leaving out Judaism. Ooh, no way, honey. They is in the pile. They probably another group that's happy that affirmative action is done, because many of them have crawled out of Crown Heights on affirmative action. Woo. But kick down the ladder they did. Kick down the ladder they did. The worst jobs I've ever had was in New York City. The worst. Okay, no. Connecticut, too. In New York City, I remember seeing sisters stressed out to the max. Lunchtime came, everybody pocketbook open and pills started tumbling out that thing. I was shocked. I was like, oh no, please, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to. I can't. I worked for the telephone. Folks was passing out the stress. And who were the workers? African Americans. No Caucasians was on our, I call it plantation. The Marbell plantation. It was all us. The white the people was, the directors and stuff. Oh, that job scared me. The passing out, the pills, and then they had all these gold rings and they had all this stuff. And they had to keep the job. And then they would have all these pills. I'm telling you, at lunchtime, everybody had a makeup case. They had no makeup. They had pills. Oh, it's so horrible. And I'm like 23, 24 years old. I'm saying, oh, I don't want my life to be like this. Oh, I don't want my life to be like this. And what do they do with affirmative action? Got married. And when their husband said, women need to stay home and stop this career stuff. See, she already got her degrees and stuff. And she already made it. So she kicked that ladder down and said, sure, Daddy. I'm going to stay home and take care of you. I don't need to use all my degrees that I got from affirmative action. It ain't nothing. And all women need to stay home. And you see, now, that's why affirmative action is gone. Oh, I listen to a lot of true crime and stuff. Y'all say it in a heartbeat. Yep, I went all the way to get my PhD and I met my husband and I said I'm going to stay home and change diapers. And now everybody should stay home and change diapers. And nobody should get an education. And that's how it goes. And that's why y'all ain't got affirmative action now. Oh, yeah, I was a teacher. Oh, I was doing so good. And then I met my husband. I said, I just want to be a good wife. I want to make sure your food is cooked, your needs are satisfied, and your children is all taken care of. I don't need no master's degree. Don't no woman need a master's degree. All they need to do is take care of a man. That's why y'all lost affirmative action. Gone. If your daddy ain't got the money, gone. Because y'all was acting like y'all wasn't getting no money and stuff like that. But you minorities too. Y'all was, I work with you. Oh, I got my degree here. In my country, I would never be able to get my degree. But here, because of affirmative action, I got my degree. But I ain't hiring no black people. You're like, what, really? Really? Do you know how we marched, how we died, what we did to get this? No. Kick the ladder down after they got up. Guess what? You ain't got it now. Oh, I can come here from another country. You black Americans, y'all can't get nothing. Y'all can't do nothing. I come here from another country and I just go. I go to college and I get my degree and you black Americans can't get nothing. So I ain't going to give you nothing. Boop, kick the ladder down. The affirmative action ladder, kick it down. I used it. Ain't nobody else going to use it. But newsflash, ain't a nobody going to use it. Men are so happy that women will be back in the house in no time. They'll be back on the thumb. They'll be back being the money makers. Then the wages can go up. Because remember, women were talking about fair wage. Even with affirmative action and stuff, there's many components to affirmative action, not just the college part. But with affirmative action and stuff, women still making less. Now you take the woman out the workforce, they're going to make more. Justification, only the man works in the house. So that's why he has to be paid more. So all of us, not me, I'm retired. And soon my man and Indy going to separate. I'm going to be off this penal colony. I sure would like my daughter to get me off it before. But either way. But see the ancestors from that tree, the hanging tree in South Carolina, they vowed a lot of stuff to me. And one of the things that I push for my family that everybody ignore me, on this penal colony, you can make it with your own business. You can make it selling your own products. You can invent something, make it and sell and make millions of dollars. Start taking that route. Start taking that route. Your own personal business. You have the internet. Always going to be some kind of way. Even when they shut down radios, there was radios out in the middle of the ocean, sending back frequencies for people. So it's always going to be a way to get to the internet. Make you something. Promote you something. Get your money. Because that's the only way to have any kind of success on this penal colony. Everything else is just the matrix. So, moral of the story, when you climb the ladder of success and you throw it down behind you, eventually the ladder will stop coming up and people won't be able to climb up it. Boop. Hey, thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share, tell uncle, tell auntie, tell a cousin, tell a friend. Subscribe. Now on Monday, we won't have, let's see if I get these cameras. On Monday, we will not have a sip and chat because I'm going to run around and do business. Thanks for coming on the walk. Like, comment, share. Subscribe. And I'll see you on Monday. Thanks for coming on the walk.